The Trump administration is suing 15 federal judges. RFK Jr.'s new panel will review childhood vaccines. And it turns out that bears really do love dipping their paws into honeypots. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, June 26th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. The White House plans to limit classified intelligence sharing with Congress. This week, an initial intelligence assessment was leaked to the press. It appeared to undermine President Donald Trump's claim that U.S. strikes had obliterated Iranian nuclear facilities. That has set the stage for a contentious classified briefing before senators today. The White House is expected to send 4 of its top national security officials to brief lawmakers. But there will be one notable absence: the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. She testified in March that U.S. intelligence agencies had assessed that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. Trump has since said that she was wrong. Meanwhile, Trump attended a NATO summit in the Netherlands yesterday. The military alliance's 32 nations agreed to more than double their defense spending. And Trump offered his most full-throated backing of a group he once threatened to abandon. The Trump administration sued all 15 federal judges in Maryland. That's number 2. Since President Trump returned to office, Maryland's federal courthouses have played a big role in slowing or stopping much of his agenda. Trump officials have responded to rulings they don't like by attacking judges, and also by questioning the power of federal courts to second-guess decisions made by Trump and his cabinet. But the administration went a step further yesterday. The Justice Department sued all the federal district court judges in Maryland. Its lawsuit was over a court order that pauses any deportations under legal challenge in the state for 48 hours. Legal experts describe the move as an unprecedented attack on judicial independence. But government lawyers said it was necessary to preserve President Trump's constitutional authority over immigration. Number 3. A panel appointed by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will review how and when kids receive vaccines. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices makes recommendations to the CDC on vaccines. Earlier this month, Kennedy abruptly fired every one of its 17 members. 2 days later, he appointed 8 hand-picked replacements. Yesterday, the new panel announced it would examine the effects of the childhood immunization schedule. Health experts are alarmed. Before he was in government, Kennedy founded an anti-vaccine group. Also yesterday, Kennedy said that the U.S. will stop funding a global vaccine alliance known as Gavi. That program says it has helped vaccinate more than 1.1 billion children in 78 low-income countries. Kennedy criticized the group yesterday.
Unfortunately, in its zeal to promote universal vaccination, it has neglected the key issue of vaccine safety.
Gavi pushed back against Kennedy's allegations. The threat to its funding comes as millions of children are at risk from stalling global vaccinations. Number 4. Zohran Mamdani's election triumph is sparking debate over the future of the Democrats. On Tuesday, Mamdani appeared to clinch the Democratic nomination in the New York City mayoral primary. The 33-year-old newcomer bested former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. That's despite Cuomo being better known and better funded. Now, Democrats are arguing what it signals about the party's best path back to national relevance. Some say it means Democrats should embrace an unapologetically left-wing agenda, as Mamdani did. They also point to his creative social media strategy. But the party's establishment old guard is arguing that ideas that play well in New York City won't necessarily work in the rest of the country. We have a lot more analysis about the big Mamdani moment in the newsletter today. Find that, as always, in our show notes. Number 5. New data shows that immigration is driving U.S. population growth. The U.S. Census Bureau released a trove of interesting data yesterday. It shows that from 2023 to 2024, the number of Americans 65 and older climbed by 3.1%, and the population under 18 declined by 0.2%. There are more older adults than children in nearly half of U.S. counties. The pattern is particularly apparent in sparsely populated areas. Children still outnumber older adults, but that gap is getting narrower. That's in part because of a decline in births this decade. At the same time, a historic rise in immigration, especially among Hispanics and Asians, has counteracted some of that population decline. In our newsletter, you can look up how the makeup of your county is shifting. The brutal heat wave should start to ease off today. That's number 6. Large parts of the U.S. have had a very sweaty week. Yesterday, 125 million people from the Mississippi Valley to the East Coast were under heat alerts. The town of Southern Pines, North Carolina, opened up a fire hydrant for families to cool off yesterday. Over the next several days, the number of areas facing the worst of this heat wave will fall. The heat dome of high pressure that has been centered near the mid-Atlantic will become less distinct as of today. But if you're in the Northeast and Midwest, don't turn off the AC just yet. It may not be quite as hot, but summertime heat is expected to persist into next week until a stronger cold front arrives. Number 7 today sounds a lot like a story from a children's book. 2 young bears escaped their enclosure and went straight for the snacks. Lucy and Mish are European brown bears. The brother and sister are 5 years old. And according to the conservation park where they live in Britain, they are both very naughty bears. This week, the allegedly naughty bears broke out of their enclosure and made a beeline for the staff-only food storage area. Once there, they bypassed the vegetables to go straight for the sweet treats. They managed to gobble up a week's worth of honey before they voluntarily returned to their enclosure. There, they ran around in an apparent sugar rush, then fell asleep. Good for them. All right, you're all caught up. If you know somebody who might like hearing about NATO, political intrigue, the weather, and naughty bears in the morning, tell them to listen to The 7. I can't promise there will be bears every day, but I can promise a quick and comprehensive overview of what's going on in a format that fits your busy life. It couldn't be easier to remain an informed citizen, even when the news feels more like a fire hose. So get out there and share The 7 with a friend. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.